Hi, I'm Nitin Gangadharan. Uh, this is a final project demonstration for the subject WebDev CS-5610 Spring 2020. Our application is called Chalk. Uh, it's a open QA forum for computer science students and staff. Uh, think Piazza plus Stack Overflow style reputations built in. One of the problems we saw with existing forums like Piazza and Blackboard is that one of the main concerns was too many students were repeating the same questions again and again. Uh, and these were technical questions which could have been just looked up on Stack Overflow and you would have gotten the answers immediately. Uh, so that was one. The second part that we did not like with the existing forums is that the UI is a bit confusing. For example, if I were to respond to a question, there are basically three types of answers. One is like a student's answer, one is a collective answer by all the students, another is a follow-up discussion, another is resolved and unresolved states of follow-up discussions, and so on. It's not simple at all. It's basic. We have basically condensed that down to just questions and answers. Uh, the third problem that we felt was that there was no incentive for students to participate or to post answers. Right now, even in Piazza, for extremely obvious questions, students, although they know the answer, they just don't take the effort to just write it down. There is no incentive for them. So we are trying to solve all the three problems by uh, the repeated questions can problems can be solved by when a person is actually posting or writing a question. We kind of use the Stack Overflow API to kind of figure out what he is asking and to see if there is any existing answers available. It will be suggested to him. So this although this decreases the amount of content on the website, but it prevents the users from getting notifications about repeated questions, which I think is a huge bonus. Uh, and secondly, we just have posting questions and writing answers, and that's it. There is no follow-up discussions. There is no resolved or unresolved discussions, and all of that. There are just questions and answers, and that's about it. Uh, the incentive problem, we resolved it by using the gamification or the reputation uh, idea of Stack Overflow, basically, wherein every time you give a good answer or you ask a good question, you will be upvoted, and depending on the amount of upvotes you get or the downvotes you get, your reputation, that is your total tally of points, will be attached to your profile. So, uh, more points or more better questions that a person asks or answers, the higher the reputation of that person will be. This gamification can be used for many other purposes too. Over a period of a semester, a person can actually see how much a particular student has participated and what was the quality of his content. So that's it about the project part. Right now, a basic overview of the architecture is basically we have two types of users. We have the admin user, and we have a normal user or a student in this case. And all they will be doing is they will be posting questions, posting answers, and they will have their own reputation. Each question and each answer uh, can be upvoted or downvoted by a user. It can be any type of user. And the only difference between an admin and a student is basically the operations that an admin can do on the three domain entities: answer, reputation, and questions. So that is it about the overall data model. Let's Before coming to the actual website, let's talk about the backend a little bit. So We have a separate repository for the backend server. We have chosen to use the backend in TypeScript. One of the main reasons was while doing the course, we actually me and my teammates actually started loving Express.js in the way that it is so simple to set up and get running. It's extremely lightweight. So although we wanted the accessibility of a framework like Express, we also wanted types, especially in the backend. JavaScript natively did not provide that, hence we chose TypeScript. The database that we are using is MySQL. Since the whole project is based upon users and their relations with uh, reputations and the questions and answers and stuff like that. So, uh, since there was an inherent relationship in the data model, we chose a relational database like MySQL. We used typearm to represent to access as an abstraction layer to access our database from TypeScript. Uh, typearm is basically an ORM which supports a lot of databases, and it is built with TypeScript in mind. So migrating from MySQL to Mongo now, even if we decide to change the DB, would be a significantly easier task. And we've used other TypeScript specific, JavaScript specific frameworks like Overnight.js as an abstraction layer for the framework, and Passport.js for performing authentication, handling authentication. Uh, the list of endpoints that we have detailed all of them here. We were using Postman internally to check and validate our backend, and we decided that its documentation was good enough that we could share it with the people who are working on the front end. So all the requests and all the uh, samples are available in this documentation. So that's it for the backend. Now coming to the front end, the front end is written exclusively in React.js. We use create React app, exactly how we did it on our course. Uh, this is hosted in a separate repository. So let's come to the website. The website is hosted on Heroku. So this is the main page. This is the welcome page that a person arrives at when hitting the URL. So since the person is not logged in, you'll see a welcome message. You see a brief explanation of what the site is about. You will have 3 links, which is login, register, and browse questions. Apart from that, we have a privacy policy mentioned that is just right in front of you. Okay, so before logging in, let's look at what a non-logged in user can do. He can basically look at the existing questions that were posted, but he can actually even see the questions that are posted and a user profile. You will notice a navbar is situated in all the pages, which is specific to this non-logged in user. But the moment this user tries to, he cannot answer any question right now, but the moment he tries to interact or to do anything or to provide content for this website, he will be redirected to login page. Similarly, there is also a register page wherein you can register a user. So let's log in as a student, a regular user, Alice at 3. So once you are logged in, you can see Alice's latest question and Alice's latest answer, and the list of recent questions and their votes by different people. So once you hit a question, so as since Alice is logged in, she can upvote or downvote an answer. Clicking on upvote again removes the vote. She can post a new answer. Uh, Apart from this, let's create a new question. So how do I exit when? So you notice that even though I was typing the title, I actually got similar questions from Stack Overflow. So this is using the Stack Exchange Search API, which we've integrated into our application. So the main incentive for this was to not ask questions that were extremely obvious and whose solutions already exist in the web, so that the staff and the other users can can actually work on solving more difficult questions. For example, here's another question. Npm install is slow. Yeah, so we already have an answer for that. So let's create a question. And post it. The question after the post is done, you'll be redirected to the actual questions page. So that was creating a new question. And another thing about the question was we have actually supported Markdown. So supposing I type in installation, we have a preview here, and this preview basically renders how our answer will actually look when it is published, and this supports Markdown. You can have proper Markdown content with headings, links, and even images. So I have a dummy image. You can just put, and you can actually see how that looks like. Image. You can actually make it bold, stuff like that. And I can just publish this, and it will be seen as it was seen in the preview. So that's it about creating questions and answers. The same Markdown facility is even available in the answer with all the features. Now, one more feature that so let's look at Alice's profile. So we have Alice's profile. You can see all the activities of Alice on the right with the questions and the answers, and all the personal information of Alice on the left. So you can actually edit Alice's profile too. You can only edit the name and the email. So Alice's name has been renamed across the website. Everywhere it'll be Alice in Wonderland. If you notice, it'll always be, even here it is reflected. Now let's change it back to the original Alice. Let's see if that worked. Yep, it works. So so you did notice that you can actually see Alice's name and email because this current account is logged in as Alice. But let's look at some other profile. Let's say admin. So I can only see the admin's name. I do not know admin's email ID. That is not visible to me. So let's log out as Alice, who is a student, and now let's log in as an admin user. So then admin user can do whatever a regular user or a student can do, except that he also has the power to delete questions and answers, and basically even delete users if they want. So everything else in the current page is the same except for the delete option here. So let's delete redirect and Angular. So that's deleted. So that question is lost basically. We'll not see that question again. You have the delete option here. You can even actually go in a question and delete it if required, and you will be redirected to the welcome page. So the welcome page also looks different for a logged in user. You will have the name here, and you will have the option to return home. So let's talk about the admin dashboard. So the admin dashboard is where an admin can add or can remove users or add another user as an admin. So for example, right now we have Ivan. Ivan is not a user, is not an admin. So let's log in as Ivan. So as you can see, he's not a admin user. He does not have access to the dashboard and the like. So let's add Ivan as an admin. So now you see Ivan now has admin access to everything, similar to admin. You can now even remove Ivan as the admin. Now, apart from this, you can delete a question. So apart from this, one more feature that all the users, including an admin or regular user, can do is search for questions. So there were a couple of questions on Vim. So you can search for a question, and the results here, the results on the left are from the database. The results on the right are from Stack Overflow. So let me just make an exact query match. So you will see all the same links which we saw while creating the question. Then we can log out. So that's it about our entire web application. Thank you.